Oh, well, hello, all my wonderful, beautiful broskies of the wonderful, beautiful Maverick Nation, and hello, my wonderful bro skies of the wonderful, beautiful Maverick Nation. Happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me, happy birthday to Dark Shadow Maverick, happy birthday to Dark Shadow Maverick. Yes, that's right. My freaking birthday special was going to be what if I was Giratina, but the more I started thinking about it, the more I started to think that, no, I can do better. Nobody, people have done, like, what if Izuku had, like, Sonic's powers, but no one's ever done what if Izuku had Sonic.exe/Exetier's powers. Yes, Sonic.exe/X/Exetier's powers. Yes, he goes by many names. Sonic.exe or X or Exetier. But, and basically that's going to be like if I was in My Hero Academia. And you guys are probably going to be wondering, like, why did you mention Exetier then? Like, tell us, Dr. Like, how does that make sense? You mentioning, like, EXE, like Sonic.exe, and then mentioning My Hero Academia, and if you were in My Hero Academia, oh, I'll tell you why. Just in a few seconds. Basically, it's a whole thing of... Basically, it's going to be like... We have... Basically, I'm going to be in the Midoriya family, and we're going to have two sisters. One of them, Izumi, and the other one, Izuni. Yes, one with an M, and one with an N. And the one with an M is going to be the one with a powerful telekinesis quirk. Well, slightly more powerful than Inko's. And the one with an N, Izuni, is going to be the one who has a lot more powerful than Hisashi's fire-breathing quirk. So, yeah. We're going to have two sisters, and I'm going to be in the Midoriya family. I'm going to be... Basically, other people have said their real names, and I'm not going to be using my last name, so it's not like it's going to be the death of me. Michael Midoriya. Yes, guys, my first name is Michael, and I'm only doing this because of certain reasons. So I'm just going to say it, Michael Midoriya. The older brother, just by a few seconds, older brother of Izuku Midoriya. And how it's gonna work is, basically, Izumi and Izuni were born at the same time. They're basically twins. But I was born a little bit before Izuku, so I'm technically considered his older brother. And the twins were just born at the same time, so yeah, whatever. But they are actually younger than us. But the thing is, they have quirks, and me and Izuku basically have the same problem. We're both quirkless. So basically, whenever me and Izuku reach the age of 5, basically, it's pronounced that Izuku does not have a quirk. Because I want to be nice, I want to let him go into the office first. And, well, he's pronounced that he doesn't have a quirk, he's quirkless. And then I pronounce quirkless after that. And that just pisses off Hisashi. Because Hisashi in this one, he's not going to like this one bit. And then Izumi and Izuni go in, and it turns out that they have their parents' quirks. Izumi has a more powerful version of Inko's quirk, and Izuni has a more powerful version of Hisashi's quirk. And the thing about that is, well, the thing about that is, seeing as we don't have quirks, me and Izuku don't have quirks, but our sisters do, our younger sisters do, like, they get treated like they're on the top of the world. The only one who gets treated better is Bakugo, because Bakugo has the flashiest quirk of them all, the freaking explosion quirk. And, Bakugo and Izuku used to be friends, but now that he has the quirk and Izuku doesn't have a quirk, now he's a dick to Izuku. And I'm just like, dude, not cool. And, it gets all the way up to the last day of middle school. On the last day of middle school, everything that happens. I technically don't have a quirk, so I can't do much to stop it. Plus, Bakugo's cronies are kind of preventing me from stopping it, because I don't have a quirk. They do. Like Mr. Extendy Fingers and Mr. Wing Boy. Like, the Wing Boy is blowing me back with his wings, and Mr. Extendy Fingers, whenever I hit the wall, he, wraps his fingers around me. And so I can't help Izuku whenever he does, whenever Bakugo does everything he does, and whenever he says everything that he says. Literally telling Izuku, my bro, to freaking jump off the top of the school. After he's already blown up his notebook, thrown it out the window, and then blown up his desk. And I'm just like, you dick. Bakugo hears that and he's like, hold on, boys. I seem to have another person I need to teach a lesson. And Izuku's like, wait, no, Kacha, don't! And I'm just secretly inside, I'm just like, why do you keep on calling him that? You already know how much of a dick he is. Why do you keep on calling him that? And it's just really, one-sided. I can't even defend myself. I'm getting the shit kicked out of me. And Izuku's already had, himself, his entire everything is shot down. And so basically, we kind of have to, I kind of have to, limp home. And Izuku kind of has to, half carry me. Because Bakugo just decided to kick the shit out of me. Because of the fact that I commented on his behavior towards my brother. And so basically, that's what happens. Only, instead of any sludge villain attack, I'm basically like, oh, there's our sisters. They're no better than Bakugo, Izuku. I think we already mulled this over, that they're no better than Bakugo. So unless you want another round of what happened before, I suggest we go somewhere different. And Izuku's like, but this is a shorter route. And I'm just like, yes, and it's also the route to getting our asses kicked by our sisters, because they have quirks and we don't. You're poison, Izuku. At least if we're late, Mom won't be too vicious. Unlike Bakugo's mother. And I'm just like kinda like snickering in my mind, thinking about what would happen if Bakugo got late. And, Izuku's just like, yeah, you're right, Michael. I don't know what I was thinking. We should probably take a different route. And so, yeah. Well, that would happen. However, there's some sort of blast that happens, like a blast of fire, and I'm sent back, like, tumbling backwards. And, like, the moment, like, I get up slightly and see Zuku, he's being telekinetically pulled back towards them because they saw us, but they knew that if they took us on both at the same time, like, both Izumi and Izuni know that I'm a good strategist, and I'd probably find a good, quick, fast, and in a hurry way to get us out of this pickle that we'd probably be in. So they just decide to attack one person instead of two. And so that's why I got fire blasted down a hill. And so I'm just like, oh god, that hurt. Izuku, I cut me. And then a sword just lands down on the ground. And Izumi and Izuni just get the frick out of there. Get the frick out of Dodge. And Izuku basically getting psychokinesis, like whatever, telekinetically tossed around like salad, basically is just KO, knocked out, like TKO, total knockout. So he can't do jack shit. And this person who threw this sword, they basically land down on the ground, and they pick the sword up, and they basically are like, they're basically right there, right in front of me, standing over me. I gotta get rid of these real fast. Jesus Christ. Just standing over me, this person. And I finally realize. And I'm like, Hero Kid. And then he's like, and basically, it's like, shing. Like, I get cut open. And then he uses his quirk. And then I slowly feel the blood leaking out, and my eyes start to go dark. And I'm basically like, yeah, I'm dead. I'm dead. And then I'm like, wait, if I'm dead, then Isuku is gonna go after him next. And then whenever my eyes have completely gone into darkness, and I can't see jack shit, and I'm just like, Itsuku. And then I just hear a voice. You're worried about your brother, aren't you? And I'm just like, where are you? Where are you coming from? And then the voice just says, calm down, calm down. I'm not here to hurt you. That's exactly the opposite of what I'm here for. I'm here to help you. Name's Exetior. You seem to have had a mad run-in with the hero killer Stain. Didn't seem like he was much for talking this time, though. Now, maybe you could come back with a quirk. Just take my hand, and you'll have power. You may not like the power that you have at first, but trust me, it's better than nothing. Plus, you'll be able to get back at him for what he did. And maybe even see your brother again and get revenge on your sisters for what they did. Now come here. And then we just shake, and then it was like, boom, light, like, engulfs everything. And it's like, the next day, and but like before the next day, it's like Izuku is like, whenever he does get up, he realizes everything that went wrong, and he just, it's basically like a very sad scene because Izuku is sad, Inko is sad, Izumi and Izuni don't give a f about me, or Deku, like Izuku. Not anyone. They don't give up about anyone. They're just little shits. They deserve what they're gonna get. And you know, yeah. So yeah, that happens. But everything else in canon happens how it happens. And so basically, whenever All Might is like wondering like, would you want to become my successor, and like the whole hair thing happens, Izuku does do it, but he does it with a heavy heart. Because this, like, you know, chance to become a hero, it reminds him of what happened to good old me. You know, getting butchered by the hero killer. But little does he know, or Izumi or Izuni, little do they know either, or even Inko or Hisashi, little does anyone know that I'm actually alive because of Exetior's little favor he gave me. And no strings attached. He was literally like, if you guys, spoilers, but if you guys know about the little canon, like the canonicity of like the EXE games, Exetior, basically, he was trying to save Mobius from eternal erasure, but he got stopped, and then God knows what happened to him, but whatever happened to him sprung up certain events. Basically, in this world, I'm gonna say that Exetior does remember what happened to him. And because of the fact that he remembers now, he is royally pissed and wants to get revenge on anyone who is evil. And anyone who would want to threaten the world that he is in now. And the person that he is with now. Because Exetior, technically now, he needs me in order to survive. Like, as long as he is within me, as long as me and Exetior are one and the same, he is basically still alive. And he's not doing it for selfish reasons, he's actually doing it so that he can, you know, be, you know, he couldn't be a hero in the way of saving Mobius, then he wants to be a hero in another way. In a way that may seem villainous to some, but in his, and even in my way eventually, we end up seeing it as, You guys may see it as villainous, but we know you guys are the ones who are villainous. This whole entire hero society is a plague on this earth, and we're going to destroy it. Yes, Exetior, and eventually he convinces me the hero society that he's seen, at least thus far, is a big hunk of trash. And so they need to get rid of it. Basically, him and me, like, we need to bond so we can have enough power to get rid of the hero society and make a new one. A new, better society. From the ashes of the old, terrible society. And so, it's basically, eventually what would happen is Exetior inside of me would rise from the ashes, and I myself would rise from the ashes, and basically, you know, Stain would be long gone, but that wouldn't be a problem, you know. Exetior's like, Stain isn't a problem. Stain isn't a... Stain isn't a problem right now. Right now, we have to gather our strength up. This body as it is now, it isn't powerful enough to hold my true strength. That's the way it was at its prime. And your body's true prime strength, it isn't enough in this state. We need to become stronger. The only way to do that, at this point, is revolution. Yes, a revolution against the Hero Society. Anyway, Exetior says that the only way to get stronger, truly stronger, is a revolution against the Hero Society. But he also says we need to start small, though. We don't want any of them getting on our tails before we can truly begin our revolution against the Hero Society. Don't you agree, my friend, Michael Midoriya? And I'm just like, actually, the more I think about it, what you're saying, it does make sense. Yes, the revolution. And even though we can't start right away, it's not a problem. It's not a problem with me, and apparently not a problem with you. We have to gain strength. We have to become stronger. Faster. Smarter. We have to have more endurance. We have to evolve. Izuku, I'm sorry if what you're going to see eventually you don't like. But this is, trust me, this is for the better of everything. I don't care about what happens to Izumi or Izuni. They deserve what they get. Right, Exetior? And Exetior is like, indefinitely. Those spoiled little brats will get what they deserve in due time. And then me and Exetior were just like in the Predator movie, like, you son of a... like, that scene in the Predator movie. And, basically, all that would happen. Basically, I'm gonna get rid of 3 people from Class 1A. I'm gonna get rid of Coda. I'm gonna get rid of Sero. I'm gonna get rid of Ayama. And in their places will be Izuku's sisters and me. However, what none of them will know is my true reason of why I'm there. Oh, I'll put up a facade. It really won't be me putting up the facade. It'll be more me slash Exetier putting up the facade. Because Exetier already knows from being in my brain for a while that I'm not one to lie. And so Exetier would be the one helping me with the facade part. So, yeah. And Izumi and Izuni would be there too. That's why I had 3 spots taken out. Izumi, Izuni, and me. With my quirk that I call Exetier. And Exetier in general doesn't mind being called a quirk, because if quirks are basically what everyone considers how your status in life, how basically who you are and what kind of status you have in life. Exetier doesn't mind at all because it means that he's helping me. And that's what Exetier came here to do, basically. No strings attached. He wants to help me, clean up this society, and I wanted to clean up the society in general once Exetier, showed me that it needed to be cleaned up. I was just in general thinking that Bakugo's a dick and our sisters are a little bit too overconfident for their own good. And, well, Exetier is the one who showed me just how corrupt and deranged the Hero Society of now is. And so, basically, Exetier helping me with being the deceit against their, the eyes of the heroes and everybody, and, not letting anyone really know what we're really after. And, putting up a little bit of a facade of our true intentions. When really, we're not trying to be heroes at all, at least the kind of heroes that they think are heroes. We're trying to be different, a different kind of hero. A kind of hero which Hero Society would think would be a villain. But to us, the Hero Society, they think that our villains, to us, the Hero Society, type of hero we're trying to be, is an actual hero. The hero that they've been ignoring this entire time in favor of, more greedy, self-absorbed type of hero. And Exetier even at one point is it's almost as I don't even know what a true hero is. Right, Michael? And I'm just ditto. Ditto on that, my friend. And so that's how that would be. So that would be the 10 months of training. And during the 10 months of training, all sorts of shit would happen. Concerning my training with the Exetier. And, well, Xatier and myself, me and Xatier, would get to know each other a lot better over the 10 months. And we'd even be able to come up with some cool moves. I would finally have had a quirk. And hey, with Xatier's vast amount of knowledge, and like almost like a knowledge network, now that he is in this world with me, he would actually be able to figure out things about my family. Not just my sisters and not just my mother or father, but my brother, Izuku, as well. And I'd be like, okay, like, shoot, like, come on, like, spit it out. But Ezekiel doesn't exactly seem to have, like, the best expression. Almost like he's kind of worried. And I'm like, dude, you can tell me anything. Literally. Anything. And Ezekiel is just like, he has one for all. All Might trusted him with one for all after he saved that kid he called Kachu. And I'm just like, well, All Might gave him one for all? Uh, 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 oh my god. How bad is it? How far is he in the training? And Ezekiel would be like, that's the problem. He's already into 5%. Making his way to freaking 10. Very, very soon. He's even created his own power that he calls Full Cowling. From teachings from not just All Might, but Gran Torino as well. And I'm just like, what? Gran freaking Torino. Oh shit, Xatier. We need to do something to improve our training. If this is what's happening, I mean, this is not good. And Xatier's like, that's what I've been trying to tell you. And I'm just like, okay. What do we gotta do? And Xatier is like, well, your society will already see us as villains. So, if we can, you know, twist and turn some of the more famous villains to our style of playing the game, then maybe we can get an edge up on our foolish brother. And I'm just like, my foolish brother. You're my quirk. So it's my foolish brother. And Xatier just gives me a look like, really? Really, man? And I'm just like, I'm kidding. Jesus. What's your problem, Xatier? You can't take a joke? These both are brothers. You know, I consider you so much of my friend that I consider you family. More than I ever will my sisters. And Xatier's like, well, how kind of you. And I'm just like, Xatier, not now. We have to find the villains first before we can negotiate with them. And then all of a sudden, a plume of blue fire would just come out of nowhere. And Xatier would be like, remember? And I'm like, yeah, that's right. And I would just like pop up like one of the little bouncy things, like springs from Sonic the Hedgehog, and the spring would bounce back the fire, and it would almost be into someone's face, but they would dodge at the last second. And they'd be like, what the hell? How did you... And what is that? And then the spring would disappear. And I would just be like, thanks, Exeter. And Exeter's like, due to our training, our reflexes are a lot faster than before. Plus summoning certain things. A special ability we call the debug mode. And, it would just be like the person who would come out of all of the, stuff would just be like, who the hell do you think you are? And I would just be talking in the Exeter voice, and I'd be like, who the hell do you think you are? We are not only Michael, but we are Exeter. And, this person would be like, wait, Michael? You mean like Michael Midoriya? No. No, there's no way in hell. You even look like him. How? Well, greetings, Michael Midoriya. You sound different, but... And then I would just put on my normal voice and I'd be like, oh, that's my quirk. Sorry about that. Exeter, me and him like to play around sometimes. And then the person would be like, what the? Your quirk is sentient? And I'm like, well, you got a problem with that? I mean, me and my quirk are best buds. To the point of even considering him like a brother to me. And the person is just like, quirk that's sentient. That close to you. I see. Would you like to see my real body? And I'm just like, wait, something's wrong with your skin. And then he just peels it off. I'm like, oh my god. Wait, you really thought it was that bad that you needed to cover it up with fake skin? I mean, I know that seems like something that would traumatize somebody, but I mean, it's not like you needed to, cover it up that much. Are you ashamed of your own, life experiences? I mean, whatever kills you just makes you stronger, man. I mean, if Kanye West is to be believed, whatever kills you doesn't make you... Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And in that case, considering how much, bad news bears you have on you, you must be incredibly strong. And the person is just like, why, thank you. My name, and I'm like, dude, I don't think I remember ever asking you your name. And if I did, wow, I must be really going off the loop. And then the person is just like, no, the alias I've been going by is Dobby, but my real name is Toya. And I'm just like, sorry for the interruption, but, Toya, you mean Toya Todoroki? I know, I'm sorry, Toya Todoroki. I just have to say it quieter because I don't want anyone to hear. And the person is just like, how did you... And I'm just like, the exact way how you noticed who I was. Similarities. I mean, you may have, what you may have, but you're still you. I mean, even after everything that you've gone through, you're still you. On the inside and on the outside. And Toya is just like, thanks, man. But you're not afraid of me? My flames? And I'm just like, Dude, that wasn't fear, that was, instinct. And if you want, it can be killer instinct. I could even chop your head off right now. And I just appear behind, like, Toya, and Toya's like, "Well, what the hell? How did you get behind me? Wait, you were there?" And I'm just like, God. You have to explain this to him? Exeter, would you mind helping me explain this to him? And Exeter is just like, man, even with the way you look right now, you still haven't mastered it. Our power is even beyond Stain's. Bloodlust and killing intent. Our willingness to kill. And Toya would just be like, "Please don't kill me." Like, he'd just be scared shitless. And then I just pop out of there like, "Xitcher, you didn't have to go that far. Don't worry, I won't kill you." But I think now we finally know who's higher on the pecking order. And Toya's like, "Yes, sir." And I'm just like, "Don't call me sir." Anything I don't like, it's people calling me sir. And people like Katsuki Bakugo, or my sisters. However, my brother, though, Izuku Midoriya, if you ever see him, tell him Michael Midoriya says hi. And Dabi's like, okay. And I'm just like, and about your own family, I know what you want to do considering your father, but you don't have to kill your brother. And, you know, Toya's like, which one? And I'm just like, oh my god. Toya, you and me need to do a lot of training before we can actually get this down. And then there's this girl who just jumps on top of me and is like, how dare you try to attack Toya-sama? And I'm just like 1 second I'm there, 1 second I'm not. I'm like, oh my god, you are so slow. I'm just like leaned up against a tree, like with Exeter's help, and was like, you are so slow, lady. And this lady is like, how the hell did you? And Toya's like, please don't try to attack him. I'm pretty much 98.5% sure that you'll be the one who ends up dead before him. And I'm just like, well, thank you, Toya. Oh, and from the looks of it, I remember hearing about a one Himaka Toga. And Toga's like, how did you know about? And I'm just like, well, I've heard about some certain things in the news, and turns out you're quite popular. You have the ability to change your appearance based on the blood that you drink from a certain person you attack. How much of such an interesting quirk? Too bad that it will be pretty useless if I had to kill you right here, right now. Same thing with Toya. It would be pretty useless if I had to kill him. But sorted some things out, and as long as he doesn't go out of line, I won't have to kill him. How about you? You're beginning to annoy me. And Toyo's like, who are you anyways to be making these, things, like these sayings? And I'm just like, you never heard of the name Midoriya? And she just makes the connections, my face, the Midoriya name, and she's just like, hey, you're that kid that went missing. And rumors about you being killed by the hero killer Stain. And I'm just like, I just pop right behind her, and I have a switchblade straight to her throat, and I'm like, you ever mention that name around me again, you will be sleeping with the fishes. Lady, do you hear me clearly? And Toga's just like, yes, sir. I'm like, well, yes, sir, indeed. And I just take the switchblade away, and I'm like, good. And Toya, like, can tell, like, I do not like the hero killer. And I'm just like, well, now what do we do? It's here. What do we do now? There's Toya. We're beginning to think we can actually get to him. But now there's this lady, Himako Toga. And Exeter is like, well, maybe if we can get her on our side as well, we can become stronger. Strength in numbers much? And I'm just like, oh. I like the way you think, Exeter. Well, Toga, it's your lucky day, because you, along with Toya, will be joining my little escapade, along with my quirkish friend here, Exeter. We will all be joining escapades of true terror amongst the Hero Society, which they all believe to be so comfy and cozy. Those people. Those scum of the earth. And Toga's like, I've heard of the term salt of the earth, but I never heard of the term scum of the earth. And Toya's like, please do not go against him. I would like to keep my life, thank you very much. And Toga is just like, you and me both. You and me both. And I'm just like, so Exeter, what do we do now? Before I get bored, what do we do now? And Exeter is just like, well, have you ever heard of the Yakuza? And I just get this biggest grin on my face. Like, oh, if that means what I think it means, Exeter, what you just said. Oh, my friend. Oh, we are going to have such a fun time. Off to the Yakuza we go. Though, I do indeed think it's going to be a while before we can actually make it there. That is, unless you have a ways away to get us there. And then Exeter points out that, he could teleport. And that means, seeing as, I basically said that, Exeter is my quirk, so I should be able to use his powers, and Exeter can teleport. Basically, I'm like, well, Toya, grab my left shoulder. Toga, grab my right shoulder. And they're like, what? And I'm like, don't you dare question me, or else I will kill the both of you without any second thoughts. And they're just like, okay. And they just grab on. And I'm like, also like, oh, and you might want to close your eyes, because if you don't, you're gonna go on a little bit of a trip. And they're just like, okay. And it's just like, like static teleportation. Not like the cloud teleportation that Kirigiri does. It's like a static teleportation. We all become like staticky. And then like a TV switch, like, and then like staticky again, and like form us back to our normal selves. And it's just like on accident during the teleportation process, Toga accidentally opened her eyes. And she's just like, why am I? And I'm just like, Toga, you sensitive. Toya, please help me get Toga along before she ends up vomiting. We should be close enough to the Yakuza base. By the way, if you're worried about the quirk of their buddy, overhaul, you don't need to be worried. I think I can handle him. And Toya's like, are you sure about that? I mean, he does have a pretty powerful quirk. And I'm just like, don't you question me. And Toya was like, I'm just looking at Toya and I'm like, don't you question me. And so basically Toya is like, okay, I'm terrified of you, so I'm not going to question you. And I'm just like, good. So, if I remember correctly from what you're telling me, Exitier, it should be over around there. However, I'd look to book us a hotel for the night. Something to help with winding us down. Also, giving us some free time to express ourselves. Yes, this will be fun. This will be very fun. And then, like, as we're going down the hall, like, there's an elevator, and we go up the elevator, and we just see, like, whenever the door opens, and we, like, get out of there, and Toga's finally, like, sobered up from the teleportation sickness, and she's finally sobered up from it, and we basically see, like, one guy wearing a mask getting the crap kicked out of him by two other guys. And I'm just like, oh, what the hell is this? And then the two guys just turn around, look over at me, and one of the guys is just like, Felix, don't. Like, Felix, no. And Felix is just like, Felix, yes! He just races over there, and I, like, kick him straight in the jawline, and he just gets sent flying into a wall. And he's just like, ow! And, like, I told you, Felix. And Felix is like, Locust, shut the hell up. And Locust is just like, God, Overhaul's gonna kill us. We're staying here longer than we need to. Because you decided it was going to be a good idea to do that. And we just had to get the message that we were overstaying our welcome. And, you know, my ears were like little perk up on this, and like, he's just like, Overhaul? You guys working with Overhaul? That's interesting. And Locust is just like, oh shit, he knows our case. Our cover's been blown, Felix. And it's just like, like freaking, like guns, like ablazing. And I'm just like, oh, for the love of Christ and crackers. Oh, God. And I'm just like, it's like, ding, 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 ding. And Locust is like, he's like pissing himself. He's like, crap. And he's like trying to run into another elevator, like, and like save himself. And I'm like, Toya, you know what to do. And Toya automatically just uses his cremation flames on Locust and burns him alive. And Felix is like, shit. Like, he's like, I'm gonna be next. And I'm just like, Toya, stand back. Toga, this is your turn. And Toga is like, yay! And is like, and I just secretly whisper before she is able to pounce on Felix, but don't kill him yet. Not yet. And Toga's like, okay. Yes! And she just lunges over there and, like, stabs him into a wall. Like, starts, like, just, like, licking his blood. And it's just like, bleh! Your blood tastes terrible. And Felix is like, you too, lady. This hurts so much. Just wanted you to know that. It hurts so much. And yeah, I just, I'm just like, Toya, would you please be a gentleman and, help me pick this guy the frick up? And Toya's like, oh yeah, that guy. Okay. And we just pick up the guy, and he's like, name, sick, Mr. Compress, League of Villains. And I'm just like, no, League of Villains, Altiro Seiko. That's your real name, and your villain name is Mr. Compress. I see. Well, how's about we negotiate something before we head back to our room? With you and that Felix guy over there, seeing as the Locust guy's already burnt to hell and back. Let's have some negotiating to be doing. You and that Felix guy are gonna help us, And if you don't, there's gonna be hell to pay. And loads of hell to pay. And Felix is just looking at this, and he's like, how is he so awesome just being a little kid? And I'm just like, excuse you? I am freaking teen. I am not a little kid, I am a teenager. And Felix is like, please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. And I'm like, oh, trust me, with my friend's work over there, they'd probably not even notice that you were gone. little Felix the cat. Now, either you comply with us, or we kill you, Felix. Felix is just like, well, overall isn't even that nice anyways. And we're actually working for someone else who's trying to get shit from Overhaul behind his back. Oh, I see, working in secrecy as double agents. Well, you can now call it triple agents, because I think I may know a way to fix this little problem we have here. And as for you, Mr. Atahiro Seiko, Mr. Compress, it seems the League of Villains has done you pretty dirty, allowing you to get, completely decimated by Locust and Felix. I remember your names being. Well, my friend here, Toya, burnt Locust from the inside out. I should already tell you one thing, that we are far more powerful than the League will ever be, and that All For One should watch what he says before he tries any sort of counterattack, because of the fact that we took his little prize. You, Atsuhiro. And Atsuhiro's just like, well, if I don't go with them, I'm gonna get killed, and if I do go with them, I don't know what the hell, but... And then Felix is just like, dude, I think it would be wise if we both went with them. Trust me, I don't want to get filet mignon like how that happened with Locust. And I know you may not trust me all that much because of what happened in between me, you, and Locust, but this is probably the best option we have right now. And I don't think they're going to give us much more of a choice except for death. And Atsuhiro is like, well, despite how much I don't like you, you do seem to be right. So, and basically I'm like, wait, why were you even bullying Atsuhiro in the first place? Felix, you and Locust bullying him? And Felix is like, well, we work for Overhaul as basically triple agents to stab him in the back later on. Because of our true employer, and what he wants to do with what Overhaul has. So, basically have a League of Villains member around? That wouldn't be the best call. So we decided we wanted to get rid of him, so that Overhaul wouldn't think we're doing any shady shit. Our employer already knows that we have our loyalties towards him. So, getting rid of this guy would be the only thing we'd need to do. And I'm just like, so you were basically trying to save your asses by getting rid of him. Because you were afraid that if Overhaul found out, the entire thing would fall apart, your entire operation? Oh, well, if you stick with me, you won't have to worry about that. Besides, we're planning on visiting Overhaul, tomorrow anyways. And Felix is like, oh, damn. Well, then I guess the best decision for both of us, Atsuhiro, would be to join these guys. So, I guess, now what do we do? And I just hold out my hand and I'm like, we shake on it. And Felix would show out his hand, and, Atsuhiro would show out his hand, and, we would do a triple handshake. And, we would find some way to accommodate Felix and Atsuhiro. And, well, yes, I would be like, well, now we have two new members in Mr. Compress and Felix. How lovely. Hear that, Exeter? We have friends. And Exeter is like, oh yes. Ah yes, friends. I wonder how long it's going to last, though. Once Overhaul figures out about what's going on behind the scenes. And about Felix and Locust's true employer, I wonder who that actually is. Plus, now we're in gripes with the League of Villains. Because before, Atsuhiro was a part of that league. And I'm just like, oh, us worrying about that? Dude, I think we got it perfectly under control. And if we run into any problems, well, we can always, And Exeter is just like, oh, oh, yes, I indeed do know. And I'm on Xeon Douses because I'm Darkshin Maverick and I am out of here. Your boys, like, favorite, and subscribe. Click that little bell. It's in the comment section. Bounce like it's Quidditch, Quidditch, Quidditch. Yeet, 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 and all the yeet. Juice.